Dear listeners, welcome back to English Story Time. Today's story is called The Phone Call. A man finds an old phone in a secondhand shop, and that night it rings with a voice he never expects to hear. The vocabulary is clear and simple, and you will understand every word. Let's begin. Marcus is a quiet, ordinary man. He lives alone in a small apartment on the 4th floor. He works at a big office downtown, and every day looks exactly the same. He wakes up early, takes the train, and comes home tired. On a cool Saturday morning, Marcus walks slowly through the city. He has no plan, just fresh air and a little time. He passes old bookshops, a bakery, and a flower stand. The smell of fresh bread follows him down the street. Then one small shop catches his attention. It sits on the corner between two tall buildings. The window is dusty and full of old things. Clocks, lamps, picture frames, and books. Marcus stops and looks, and then he sees it. In the corner of the window, sitting alone, is an old black telephone. It is heavy-looking, dark, and somehow beautiful. Marcus stares at it for a long moment. He goes inside. The air smells like old wood and dust. Soft jazz plays quietly from a small radio on the shelf. An old woman sits behind the counter, reading a book. She looks up and smiles. "How much for the phone?" Marcus asks. $5, she says softly, without looking at the price. Marcus picks it up. It feels heavier than he expects, solid and cold in his hands. There is something strange about it, something familiar. He cannot explain the feeling. But he pays the $5 and carries the phone home in a brown paper bag. That evening, he puts the phone on his desk and looks at it for a long time. It just sits there, silent and still. He makes a warm cup of tea, reads his book by the lamp, and tries to forget about it. But he keeps looking. At midnight, he turns off the light and closes his eyes. The room is dark and quiet. Then the phone rings. Marcus sits up fast in the dark. His heart pounds hard inside his chest. The phone rings again, loud and sharp, cutting through the silence. He gets up slowly and walks toward his desk. His hands feel cold as he reaches for the receiver. He picks it up. The ringing stops immediately. He holds his breath and listens. At first, there is only silence, deep and heavy. Then a voice speaks. The voice sounds familiar, very familiar. "Marcus," the voice says softly. Marcus freezes completely. It is his own voice, his exact voice, speaking to him through the old black phone. "Who is this?" Marcus whispers. His voice shakes. "You know who I am," the voice answers. "I am you, calling from the future." Marcus's mouth goes dry. He sits slowly down on the floor, his back against the desk. His mind races with 100 questions, but he cannot speak. "This is not real," Marcus finally says. "It is real, Marcus," the voice replies. "Listen to me carefully." The voice sounds tired, heavy with something Marcus cannot name. It sounds like regret. "Do not go to work tomorrow." Just those 7 words. Then silence. "Why?" Marcus asks quickly. "What happens at work tomorrow?" But the line goes dead. Marcus holds the receiver tightly, staring at the phone. His whole body is trembling. He tries to call back. There is no dial tone, nothing, only silence. He walks to the kitchen and drinks a long glass of cold water. His hands are still trembling. The warning echoes in his head again and again. Do not go to work tomorrow. Tomorrow is the most important day of his year. He has a big presentation for his boss, months of hard work all ready to deliver. His colleague Sarah will be there. His boss is counting on him. Everything is prepared. If Marcus stays home, he could lose everything: his job, his promotion, his future. But the warning echoes louder than any of that. The voice, his own voice, full of regret, does not sound like a joke. Marcus sits in the dark kitchen for a long time. He does not sleep. The warning echoes all through the night. The next morning arrives gray and cold. Rain hits the window in soft, steady drops. Marcus sits at the table with a cold cup of coffee. He has not slept. His eyes feel heavy. He looks at the old phone on his desk. It sits quietly, dark and still, as if nothing happened. He checks the time. It is 7 in the morning. His train leaves in 1 hour. He opens his laptop. There is already an email from his boss. "Big day today, Marcus. See you at 9. Marcus reads it twice. His stomach feels tight and heavy. He thinks about the warning again. The voice sounded exactly like him, familiar, tired, and full of regret. That regret was real. He could feel it through the phone, cold and heavy. Something terrible is going to happen today. Marcus stands up slowly. He puts on his coat and picks up his bag. He walks to the front door. His hand rests on the cold metal handle. He stops. The warning echoes one more time. Do not go to work tomorrow. He stands at the door for a long moment, coat on, bag in hand, heart beating fast. Then he puts his bag down. He takes off his coat. He sits back down at the table. He opens a new email and types slowly. "I am sick today. I cannot come in." His finger trembles over the send button. He thinks of his presentation. He thinks of his colleague Sarah. He thinks of that tired, regretful voice. He presses send. The email disappears. Marcus lets out a long, slow breath. The morning passes slowly. Marcus makes breakfast, stares at the rain, and tries to read. But his mind will not be still. He keeps thinking about his presentation, about Sarah giving it alone, about his boss's face. At 9:30, his phone buzzes. It is a message from Sarah. "Marcus, are you okay?" "Something happened at the office," she writes. Marcus's heart beats fast. He types back, "What happened?" Sarah's answer comes in seconds. "There was a fire on our floor. It started in the storage room near the conference room. Everyone got out, but it was very close, Marcus, very close." Marcus reads the message 3 times. His hands start trembling again. A fire, a real fire, exactly where his presentation was supposed to happen. "Is everyone safe?" he writes quickly. "Yes," Sarah answers. "Everyone is safe. We are all okay." Marcus sits very still. The room is quiet around him. He can hear his own slow, careful breathing. He looks at the old phone on his desk. It sits there, dark, heavy, and silent. That phone saved his life. He picks up the old receiver very gently and holds it in both hands. "Thank you," he whispers. Then, slowly, Marcus understands something new. One day, years from now, he will be the one making this call. He will find an old second-hand phone. He will dial a number he somehow knows. And his younger self will answer. The warning will travel back through time. It will reach him, young, tired, and standing in a dusty little shop. And it will be enough. That evening, Marcus calls his mother. He tells her he loves her. She laughs with surprise and joy. He sits by the window with warm tea. Outside, the rain has finally stopped. The sky is soft and clear and calm. Marcus feels something quiet and new inside him, something like gratitude. He is grateful for his life. He is grateful for a strange phone call in the dark. He is finally, truly ready to live. The old phone sits quietly on his desk. It does not ring again. It does not need to. Tonight, Marcus sleeps peacefully, deeply, and well. Before you go, let's review the most important words from today's story. The first word is second-hand. Something second-hand is not new. It belonged to someone else before you. In our story, Marcus finds the old telephone in a second-hand shop on the corner. The second word is receiver. A receiver is the part of a telephone you hold to your ear and mouth. In our story, Marcus picks up the receiver and hears a voice he will never forget. The third word is familiar. Something familiar is something you recognize. It feels known to you. In our story, the voice on the phone sounds familiar because it sounds exactly like Marcus himself. The fourth word is regret. Regret is the sad feeling you have about something you did or did not do. In our story, the voice from the future is full of regret, tired and heavy with sadness. The fifth word is warning. A warning is a message that tells you something dangerous is coming. In our story, Marcus's future self gives him a warning. Do not go to work tomorrow. The sixth word is trembling. Trembling means shaking slightly because of fear or strong emotion. In our story, Marcus's whole body is trembling after he hears the voice on the phone. The seventh word is colleague. A colleague is a person you work with.
In our story, Sarah is Marcus's colleague. They work together on the same floor of the same building. The eighth word is grateful. Grateful means feeling deep thanks for something good in your life. In our story, Marcus feels grateful, truly and completely grateful for the call that saved his life. The ninth word is echo. When something echoes, it repeats again and again in a space or in your mind. In our story, the warning echoes in Marcus's head all through the long night. The 10th word is presentation. A presentation is when you speak in front of a group to share ideas or information. In our story, Marcus has an important presentation for his boss, but he makes the brave choice not to go.
Now let's look at some phrases that real people use every day. The first phrase is catches his attention. This means something makes you stop and look. It pulls your eyes toward it. In the story, we hear one small shop catches his attention. You can use this when something interesting stands out. For example, a red jacket in the window really caught my attention. The second phrase is the line goes dead. This means a phone call ends suddenly without warning. In the story, we hear Marcus asks why, but the line went dead. The third phrase is his mind races. His mind races with 100 questions. I couldn't sleep because my mind was racing. The fourth phrase is lets out a breath. This means to breathe out slowly after a moment of tension or fear, a sign of relief. In the story, we hear, he presses send and lets out a long, slow breath. The fifth phrase is very close. This means something dangerous almost happened. The person escaped, but only just. In the story, we hear, everyone got out, but it was very close. When danger was near, but someone was lucky. The car almost hit him. It was very close.